I think that's a fair question. So if I didn't own one, well, I'd have questions too. So when I was in the military, I had soldiers come up to me and they would say, "Man, Sergeant, I'm sorry I missed formation. Couldn't find my shoes, skills, the dog got cold or whatever." And I would say, "You know what, I get it. You had to walk a uniform." "Well, that's messed up, Sergeant." "That's cool, first one's on me." Next time they would come up, "Oh man, Sergeant, I can't use that dude, man." I'll say, "Look, stop you right there. I'm going to need you to bring me your uniform. I'm going to put it on my ranch, and I'm going to take good care of it for you. That way you can do what I need to do." So that's when the uniform ranch was born. What does that have to do with ministry? You trying to work on? What does that have to do with ministry? Well, when I got out of the military, I knew I was being called into the ministry, but I wasn't really sure what my life was going to be. So the first thing I did was tell God he had the wrong guy. Because I'm trying to be no pastor. And so I went in and told my wife, I said, "I don't feel like God's calling me into the ministry." She said, "Nah, I ain't trying to be no pastor's wife." And I said, "Well, I don't really think that's what I'm supposed to be doing." She said, "What do you think you're supposed to be doing?" And I said, "Well, I think I'm supposed to be making an outmaking ministry." She said, "Well, what does that look like?" I said, "No, don't know." So, let me pause just a second. I'll get to lead off with this. But we're live on Facebook, so if y'all got warrants, stay on that side of the camera right there. All right, so. All right. So I was learning how to make knives during this process. And doing ministry, doing missions. Started doing local mission projects. Started doing missions around the world. I've been able to do quite a few different trips to different places. But when I was putting a team together to do something locally, go internationally, I would hear, "Oh, I really love to go there, but I got a casserole to go, or I can go get a haircut, or whatever." But the biggest one I heard was, "I really love to go there, I just don't have the money." That was a legitimate reason for a lot of people. Because it costs a lot of money to go places. To do stuff. Ministry's not cheap, right? So, God laid it on my heart to begin this ministry. What we do is we travel around, I do these presentations, I sell knives, merch, and all things like that. All the donations go to support missions. So, let's say, Tim, you had an opportunity to go to Peru, put solar panels on Mud Hut. You can come to me and say, "Hey, Corey, I really feel like God's calling me to do this trip. I don't know how to raise the money. I don't have the money. I just know I'm supposed to be going." So we'll sit down and have a conversation, talk about your situation, and then I'll take it to the board, and we'll figure out if we're going to pay half your way, all your way, or we'll sit down and teach you how to raise funds. But the whole purpose of this ministry is to allow people to go serve. So I'm still collecting unicorns, just doing it for the kingdom instead of what I'm saying.
Amen.
Amen.
So that's where the unicorn came into play. I get a lot of questions about that, right? Oh, unicorn question. So, all right. What does it have to do with knife making? Glad you asked. When I was learning how to make knives, I started realizing that you have to go through a process to make a knife. See, this bar of steel right here started out like this. See, this is a piece of iron ore. This iron ore was mined, taken to a factory, turned into this bar of steel right here. But see, it takes a lot to get this bar of steel from that to a knife, a usable tool. It's got to go through a transformation. See, this forge to me represents environments and how our environments make us vulnerable. Now, the hammer represents decisions that are made for us at a young age or by us at an older age. You see, our decisions, they shape us. They change us into what we are. So, for me, I was born and raised Southern Baptist Church. Hellfire Restaurant. And for me, attendance, there wasn't an option. I had to go. So, my environment encouraged me to go to Sunday school, read my Bible, go to youth camp, kids camp, VBS. See, all those decisions that shape me make a difference. So in that little country home at Redstone Baptist Church, my mom wanted to make sure I made a decision for Christ. She took me into the pastor's office. I sat down and he explained to me the road to salvation and how I had to give my life to Christ. So I was 8, 9, I don't know, 10 maybe. I walked down the aisle. Prayed prayer. Went swimming. Because that's what my environment. That's what it encouraged her to do that. Shake. Make a difference. So I had a pretty, I was raised in a pretty controlled environment, but I was kind of a cool kid. So when I was a little adult, 9, 10, maybe something like that, I was able to go outside my house, go to visit a friend's house, make decisions on my own. So one day I was at a buddy of mine's house. We were up in his attic, found a box of magazines. They were not Better Homes and Gardens. So I chose to look at those magazines. Had one choice. Started a cycle addiction that lasted several decades. Shaped me. Made a difference. What I realized was that I wasn't necessarily addicted to the images as much as I was the rush. Like the rush of doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing, the rush of not getting caught. Well, most of it not getting caught. So I started looking for other ways to get that rush. Started smoking when I was 13. Drinking, 14. Started having sex when I was 16. Got to go pregnant out of high school. So I married her. We lived happily ever after, right? No. This is a participation sport. Feel free to talk. It shaped me, made me different. So here I was, 18 years old, had a baby. And my marriage was a train wreck. So we trucked on a couple of years with that. And we figured, you know what? We'll fix this. Another baby. That did not work. So, we got divorced. And I ran. My oldest daughter is 23 now. She was 3 months old when I left her mom. We just couldn't make it work. See, I was born and raised Canton, Owen City, Texas. So I wanted to go see what the world had to offer. I moved off to the big metropolis of Tyler, Texas. That shaped me. See, it made a difference. When I got to Tyler, you know what I found? Drugs. Lots of them. So, I decided to party. And what I realized was, I started noticing the people in the circle that control the flow of drugs in and out of the circle, they control the circle. So me having the entrepreneurial spirit that I have, I decided I wanted to be a pharmaceutical representative and specialize in med trade. So I started dealing med, and I was pretty good at it. Because, oh, by the way, I was raised by the police. My dad was a cop. So I paid attention when I was growing up. Learned how to do the wrong things in the right way. So I had a pretty successful career as a meth dealer. Did all the things that you would think a meth dealer would have to do. Seeking that rush. Had a girl come to me one time. We were getting high together. She told me she was pregnant. So I did what I thought any responsible man would do. I paid for her abortion. No rush. No rush on that, guys. But the time had come to where I knew I had to make some choices because I could see the signs all around me telling myself that my time as a meth dealer was coming to an end. See, all those things that shape me. That's good. So I got to thinking, was at the time, I wasn't a praying man. So, how can I get away from this lifestyle? How can I get away from the people in the lifestyle? Maybe more importantly, what could I do with those people couldn't get to me? I needed a super controlled environment. Where I could just walk away. Because I wasn't strong enough to stay in that environment and quit on my own. Because I've been traveling. So, 29 years old, I walked into a recruiter's office, joined the Army, left that old life behind. Live happily ever after, right? Yeah. So it was 10 days from the time I walked into that office until I was laying in my bunk, basic training, rubbing my bald head, wondering, what in the world I done got myself into now. See, my recruiter, he said, man, you can't be telling nobody you did drugs. They won't let you up in here. I'm paraphrasing. He's kind of an older guy, so he didn't talk like that. Anyway, yeah. So he said, man, they ain't gonna let you up in here. I said, okay, I got you. Hey, man, you ever done drugs? No, never done drugs, never. See, I sobered up just long enough to pass your analysis to go through this. So I was laying in my bunk at basic training. I'd wake up in the cold sweats, DTs, flashbacks, thinking people would get to me. My bunk mate was super happy about that. Well, see, I couldn't tell nobody. I didn't know I did drugs. So I had to suffer in silence. That's shaking. Maybe different. So I trucked on along in basic training, kind of flew under the radar, and then went to AIT. For you non-military people, that's where Army folk go to learn how to do their job. Well, at AIT, I got a little bit of freedom. I chose to party. I know. Y'all are just as shocked as I was. So I was partying, minding my own business, doing my own thing. And there was a girl. Ain't that how it always goes? Man's just trucking along, doing his thing, the woman comes along, just messes it all up. There you go. Well, see, the thing is I didn't want to have nothing to do with this woman. She wouldn't leave me alone, y'all. See, she was from Ohio. She ain't never heard nobody talk like me before. So she wore me down. And we finally got married. We lived out there after, right? Yeah. That's how the story's gone so far. Yeah. So, 6 days later after we got married, she got on a plane to Iraq. She was over there for 11 months. A month before she came home, I got on a plane to Iraq. I was over there 13 months. First 2 years of our marriage, one of us in the desert. So by the time we got together, two things we knew for sure. We hated each other, and only God could fix it. See, kind of like me, she was raised in a Christian household, so she was a son of God. So we found us a church that was kind of in between my Solid Baptist upbringing and her feet running. And we started going. About a month in, walked up to the pastor and I said, "Hey, Pastor John, you got marriage counseling?" He said, "My wife's hard-headed, man. She needs some help." He kind of stepped back a little bit. She punched me in the ribs and he said, "Yeah, man, I can meet with you." So we met with him the next week and we was here about 30 minutes and he laid back in his chair and he was like, "Oh my, I've seen y'all too, yeah." So we met Dr. Steve. God used that man to save our marriage because he taught us how to communicate. But see, the trick was we didn't give up. We didn't quit. 15 years later, here we are. We're still there. You can't tell me that wasn't God did that. Because we tried to do it on our own. Y'all see what that looks like. All this hammer dings on this old knife right here. Ain't quite a knife yet, though. Looks like a knife. Smells like a knife. But see, I want y'all to hear something. Y'all hear that dull? See that file's cutting that blade. There's a blade-shaped object. See, this thing's got to go through a transformation. It's got to be changed on the inside. See? And for that to happen, it's got to be heated up to a temperature that we call past critical, where this metal becomes non-magnetic. That's weird, right? for a metal to be non-magnetic. But in order for us to become who we need to be, weird things need to happen in our life. We have to be changed on the inside. We have to become something else, which is pretty abnormal, unless you're a caterpillar. That was funny. Y'all are killing me. All right. So, y'all be changed on the inside. So we got heated up, man, my wife and I. We had the knowledge, but we didn't have it in our heart. See, we knew what we needed to do. We knew we needed to give our life to Christ. We hadn't done that yet. So we knew we were getting heated up to the point where we had to make a decision. We couldn't deal with it any longer. So we made a decision to give our lives to Christ. Buried with Him in baptism. When that happens, that cold oil hits his hot metal. Check this out. Y'all hear the difference? If I would cut that down, it's different on the inside. But see, it takes a whole lot of work to get a knife from looking like this to looking like this. See, the problem, my opinion, of church in America, not everyone's like this, but a lot of them are. We feel like once we get somebody in the door down the hall, pray the prayer, take them up to the swimming pool, and we got our work done. That ain't true. That's where it begins. That's not the finish line. That's the start line, y'all.
Come on.
Because it's as abnormal as it is for us to have a change like that, it's abnormal for us to walk with Christ in a fallen world. Mm-hmm. It's not something that comes naturally. We have a sin nature. So my wife and I didn't want to have kids wherever we got married. I didn't mess that up big time with the two older kids that I had. My wife, all she ever wanted to be was a mom. So, God worked on my heart. So I said, okay, we start finding kids. Next month was pregnant. I was like, come on, man, come on. Well, we lost that baby. We've had 6 losses in our journey. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you how good God is. You know how I said I don't really like kids, babies, that my thing? Not really a big fan. We compromised. We'll be having number 5 next week. So, that's how I think. But if you don't think we have a sin nature, come to my house, babysit my kids, so my wife and I can go on a cruise. I mean, like, for real, we got applications back there, background check. Y'all come, for real, help us out. But kids will show you. Kids will show you how bad we are. I've never seen that like it. They'll go push each other off the toilet. Like, you couldn't wait just a couple seconds. Where did that come from? I didn't show you that. But that's how they do. They're just mean. So we got to learn how to combat our sinful nature. See, when we give our lives to Christ, we become something different, but that's the start. See, that's when discipleship kicks in. That's where believers that are more seasoned than us, that's where they need to come alongside us and say, look, man, I got you. Let me teach you how to pray. Let me teach you how to read the Bible. Because the Bible's not just some book. It is a book of factual events. It's not a storybook. That stuff's true from the mouth of God. So it's not wrong for us to put that much respect into a book. We got to learn to do that. See, I walked away from God in 2015. All this pregnancy loss. I'm out, cuz. I don't have nothing to do with it. I have a pretty loose relationship. I'll talk to God, call cuz, bro, that kind of stuff. So, I'm out. Y'all gonna give these crackhead babies on the phone in the dumpster? You can't even give us one. We got to love them with love. I'm done with you. So I walked away. Y'all already heard how I do that. So, you know where I was in 2015. So we figured out how we're going to have a thing. Science, doctors, God, put all that together. We figured it out. So we did IVF. We had to do IVF for all 5 of our kids. Well, 2017 comes around, and we have twins. You can't try all 5. It seems to be my thing, I guess. I don't know. So we have twins, and here I am. Don't walk away from God, thought I was done. But I know my kids need to be raised in the church. I know my responsibility is different now. So how do you navigate that? Like when you walk away and you say, hey, I'm done. I don't want to do with you, bro. How do you navigate coming back? Because I don't want to be a fair weather father. I'm not trying to be one of them church folk, hypocrites. I ain't trying to be that. God sent a man in my life to help do that. Somebody that was wiser than me. So, everybody needs a Paul in their life. Everybody needs a Timothy in their life. What do I mean by that? God sent this man into my life to disciple me. He was my Paul. Now, I had men that I'm pouring into. They're my Timothy. Because Paul and Timothy had that relationship. They built each other up. They held each other accountable. Men, you need to have another man in your life, multiple if you can. Women, you need to have another woman in your life, multiple if you can. That will come alongside you. Say, look here, knucklehead. You need to straighten up. That's how you gotta talk to me. You gotta talk over me sometimes, get it through my head. It's just, y'all heard mine. So, but the thing is, when they come to you, can't get upset. Because you gave them permission to speak into your life. That's another problem, too, that the church faces. We got this thing called pride. That's right. Pride versus accountability. Or we want to blame shit. We don't want to take responsibility for things that we do. Let me tell you something. I believe that church is one of the biggest mission fields in America. Especially where we live. In the Bible Belt, you ask anybody, hey man, would you consider yourself a Christian? Oh yeah, I'm a Christian. How do you know? Oh, I go to church. I don't do it. Man, my great-grandpa built that church. I've been going to that church since I was born. Don't matter. That ain't gonna get you to heaven. Only faith, Christ alone. That's it. If you haven't done that for you, you can't ride your parents' coattails, your grandparents' coattails, your auntie or your uncle. You can't ride their coattails to heaven. It ain't gonna work. If you don't have a personal relationship with Jesus on your own, then you're going to hell. There ain't no other way about it. We need each other to get there. Because I got blind spots. I need other men that I trust to come to me and say, look, bro, what are you doing? Because if we don't have that, we're never going to know. It's important. With all the pregnancy issues that we had, I blamed it on myself because of my past, what I did. It took a person wiser than me to help them understand that just because I hurt the past doesn't mean it's got to define the future. See? So I could be standing in front of a murderer, a convicted drug dealer. Thank God I never got caught, or I would have been able to run harm. But there's a whole list of things that I could be guilty of standing here in front of you right now. But I'm telling you, glory, hallelujah, I'm not. I'm a redeemed child of God. So it takes a village. And see if we're willing to do those things that along the rock can do some incredible stuff in the hands of the right person, the right maker. It's pretty incredible, right? That rock can do this right here. I want to encourage you tonight. If you're walking around under a cloud of guilt, shame, feeling like you ain't worthy, like you've done too much in your life, and God won't forgive you, that's Satan talking to you. Yep. Jesus don't push that. Condemnation, shame, guilt, all that stuff, that's stuff of the devil. So if you're walking in here and you think you've done something too big for God to forgive you, I'm telling you right now that ain't true. I tried, I tested that. Many of us have tested that. And I'm telling you right now, God is good, y'all.
Yes, He is.
So, maybe there's somebody in here that's never made a decision to follow Christ. Or maybe there's somebody in here that made a decision and like me walked away. Either way, I want to give you an opportunity right now to fix that. Because it's important. You don't need to walk through those doors until you have that help. Because in here, see, this is where we come and get fed. But if we don't do anything on the other side of the threshold, what good is it? What's the point? Why do you come here if you're not going to go out there and do something about it? If you're not going to take lessons that you learn and go apply it to other people, you might say, well, man, I don't know about. I'm not a theologian. How am I going to share Christ with somebody? That's a great question. Tell them what you did with your life. That's it. I don't get a theological debate with nobody. That's above my pay grade. I know the Bible, but I can't tell you chapter and verse, all this stuff. I got I'm ADD too bad for that. I can't, my mind don't. Too many brain cells off, something I can't remember. But anyway, the point is, they can't tell you that your story is not true. And if they want to get in a theological debate, send it to somebody else. I'm not your guy. I'm not your gal. I can't tell you all that. I can only tell you what Jesus did in my life. That's how you share. You don't go to Walmart and be a jackwagon if somebody cuts you off the parking lot. Or if somebody cuts you in the line. That is not how you share. Right? What we do is going to say a lot more than the words from our mouth. How we treat people. They might not remember your name, but they'll remember how you treated them forever. And your face will stick out too. So your actions need to match what you're preaching, what you're coming here to learn. This ain't just some social club, y'all. This ain't something you just check the box. Well, I'm raised in church, that's right, here we go. Well, we go eat some roast. That's what we ate on Sunday. Hot roast. can't stand it now, boy. But, you know, poor folk got poor folk way, you know what I'm saying? So, got a lot of people on pop ups. Anyway. Alright. Meet the tables, here we go. I'm going to give you an opportunity to give your life to Christ or rededicate your life to Christ. And a lot of times people say, oh, you know, every ear God, every eye closed. Don't let them hear it. Don't let them know. Right? But here's the thing, y'all. If you make a decision tonight, you can't raise your hand and say, hey, I did that. You can't do it here. You ain't going to do it out there. Because another thing is if you make that decision here, you know what happens? Tim can see. Cooley can see. Pastor Dan can see. You know what they're going to do? Let me help you, bro. Let me help you. They're going to disciple you, which is that's what you need. It's not a good help. Because that's what you need. So if we can't make public profession of faith in this building, crickets out there.
That is good stuff.
Let me pray.